45,000 flights carry nearly 3 million passengers every day safely, so when something goes wrong, it shakes us out of what we consider normal. But there's no denying the string of recent airline incidents raises safety concerns. So for tonight's interview, CBS's senior transportation correspondent, Kris Van Cleave, joins us for a little perspective. So Kris, if you could run me through, this week we had smoke in the cockpit, a close call in Chicago, and then a go-around in Washington. Can you help us understand what those three events are and how abnormal they are?
Sure. So the smoke event in Atlanta, that was a Delta flight. A couple of minutes after it took off, the cabin began to fill with this hazy smoke. And this is a case where just because there's smoke, there isn't necessarily fire. What likely happened here is some oil in the engine ended up somewhere where it shouldn't be. The air on board the plane is taken from bleed air from the engines. So as it was bringing air into the plane, it also brought with it that haze. The pilots landed the plane within a few minutes of that incident. Everybody got off. Those smoke incidents, they shouldn't happen, but we see a handful of those a year. It's not an immediate threat to the safety of that airplane. It was going to land safely.
So then we got the close call in Chicago.
Yeah, this was concerning and pretty jaw-dropping video of this Southwest plane as it's coming in, was cleared to land, and just as the pilots are about to touch down, you see them take off again, and that smaller plane just move right across the path in front of them. It appears here what happened was that smaller plane did not follow the directions from air traffic controllers. The Southwest pilots, this is why you want two pilots in that cockpit, they were looking down the runway, they acted quickly, got the plane off the ground. They went around and came in and landed safely. That one, though, is a close call that's too close for comfort. It will launch an NTSB investigation. There will be findings and recommendations out of that. And that's part of why the system has been so safe for so long, is non-accidents are treated as seriously as an accident and thoroughly investigated.
I'm going to tell me about the go-around in Washington, and then the big question, is flying safe or as safe as it has been?
The go-around in Washington is an excellent example of what happens when people's nerves get up about flying. That is a routine part of managing aviation traffic. Go-arounds happen every day across this country. It is not necessarily at all an indication of something that's unsafe. In this case, a controller saw something they didn't like, which was a plane wasn't moving off the runway as fast as they thought, so they told the plane behind it in line to go around to just give everything a little bit more time. There was no close call there. That's just sort of routine. It does happen. And is it safe to fly, John, was your question?
Yes.
Yes. You know, there are layers of aviation safety. There are the air traffic controllers. There are automated systems that they have. You have the pilots, two sets of pilots in each aircraft. They have things like collision avoidance technology that will alert them to an impending accident so that they can take action to avoid it. There are many, many layers of safety here, and that's why we had this period of 16 years between aviation airline accidents in the U.S., an unprecedented, unparalleled period of safety. No expert I've talked to, no pilot I've talked to has said fundamentally that has changed, even though we have had two very notable airline accidents in the span of a month.